So it's taken me a bit of time since I've been travelling over the summer to get back in the swing of things and to get making again. There's changes afoot at home, so there's going to be some moving around. I got a frame that I needed to make space for too, so I've ended up having to sort through some of my fabric. I'm very disorganised. When I've finished a project, what's left goes in a tub. Thing is, when you next do another project and you think you've got some fabric that will do, you can't find it, so you end up buying more. And that's how it goes. So I've gone through my tubs and I've folded up and I've put it into bags that I can see through the top, and I can actually see what's happening. So while I was doing that, I came across some fabric strips that had been sent to me. So it's from these fabrics here. They were 2.5 inch wide strips. There wasn't a huge number of them, but there was enough to sort of inspire me to want to do something with them, but wasn't quite sure what. So what I did, started off, because the strips are all the same length, I paired strips up. No order to them. All I was just making sure was that 2 fabric strips of the same fabric weren't going together. So as you can see, it's quite random, so those 2 are quite close together. These have got contrast. So I ended up with 4 patch blocks. I just carried on making until I'd run out of fabric. The layout I've chosen in the end, I think I've used all but 3 of those blocks. But obviously that wasn't going to be big enough for a quilt, so I decided to add some sashing and some cornerstones. So gone with the red. Now this red was one of the strips that I think there was a couple of strips came with that with the other strips. Obviously not enough, so I went through my boxes to find some reds that would fit in. Came across this one. Actually, I used that in a quilt from one of my sons some years ago. That brings back memories. Then I had some plain ones as well. So what I've done is I've used the plain for the top and the bottom, except for the corners, and I think there's a couple of ones just left random elsewhere. Different blacks that I've had left over from different projects, and that's formed the centre of my quilt. It wasn't quite big enough, so I thought, right, borders. Now I had some meterage of black, as you do, so there was enough to add a border all the way around. Just tie it all in together. This one I think had about 1/2 metre sent to me from a friend, so that's gone in. Another black border, and then I had some of this red. I think I had about 1/2 metre of that. It was just enough to get the strips around to finish bordering my quilt. So got quite a nice size, 60 odd inches by, I think it's about 62 by 65 I think, ended up as, so it's not a bad size. So now I just need to layer it and back it. But I thought it was a good idea, like if you have some fabric scraps there, some strips or some squares that you can use, using sashing and cornerstones can produce quite a stunning effect and give you quite a good quilt to work with. So hopefully that's inspired you. I know it's inspired me. The next quilt that I've put together next up is for the quilts for care leavers. It was blocks that I've picked up from the retreat last year, so they're not matched. So that's my next challenge, and I'll share that with you hopefully in a couple of weeks.